So time to feed the honeybees and top up their winter stores. So what we do is we feed some sugar water, 2 parts sugar to 1 part water. And it's just, well, could have started feeding last week, which I did to a couple of the hives. But now is the time to do it because they have next 2 or 3 weeks, they'll still have enough time to convert the sugar into honey, which helps supplement their winter honey stores. So I'm feeding 9 colonies. So basically I brought this water, brought this water up to boil, and as soon as it stopped boiling, then I add the sugar and just let it dissolve into the warm water. I use a turkey fryer, propane turkey fryer, just because it's nice and easy. Going to scoop this. Once it cools down, I'm going to scoop it into Ziploc bags, and I've made some spacers, which basically gives a little bit of extra room in between the top of the inner cover and the hive. So these guys here I'll just put in between the inner cover and the hive top, and that will give enough room for the bags of sugar. And then these are deep inner covers, so when I'm using these I don't actually have to use a spacer. Hornets, yellow jackets are finding it first. So I'm feeding each one about 2 liters of 2-to-1 sugar water. And then I'll come back up in a few days and we'll feed them again. Probably a better way of doing this, but it works for me. What's up, bud? Something in that hole? Something in that hole that you really like, huh? Yeah. So, sugar water is all ready to go. Messy job filling these up. The reason that I use Ziploc bags for feeding the bees is because I got a tip from an old-timer beekeeper in our Beekeepers Guild one year, and he said that he had switched years ago to just using bags on top of the hive. The bees take it down really quickly. There's no drownings as far as bees getting into the top hive feeders. For my first few years of beekeeping, I used a number of different feeders, and honestly this works. It's so easy. The hardest part of the job is what I just did right now, filling those bags, which takes a minute, but stick them on, and when I come back up next weekend, they'll hopefully have taken all of that, all of their feed. They're getting about 2 kilograms each of sugar water mix. Smoker's going because in the fall, man, you want the smoker going because the bees are protective of their honey stores. This is propolis. Oops. This is propolis here. propolis is used to seal seal for air gaps in the hive. Listen to those bees. They're not gonna be happy with me going in there. Let's give them a little bit of smoke here. I'm only going to be in here for a minute though, so. See all the bees underneath the inner cover. Oops, that shouldn't be, I guess I just spilled that in. As I've mentioned in other videos, I use just a little bit of grass on top of the inner cover, which keeps the ants from setting up shop on top of the inner cover. So here's where the spacer goes. Just like that. There's some nice sugar water, ladies, to help you with your winter stores. A few holes in here. There you go. Go ladies. Go bees. I've still got to perforate. I'm going to turn the camera off and do it because obviously I didn't. It was being dramatic. It's not perforated yet. But so I've got 9 colonies and they're all being fed today and next week. All right, go bees. Hot tamales, holy smokes. Turned really humid today and that was one hot trip through the hives, baby. All the hives have been fed now, and I'm back in a week and I'll do the same thing. Wash, rinse, repeat. Hey, this is where I'm going. This is where I'm going, Kaya. I built a hammock puller. It's very high tech. I can get to it. It's right here. Look at that. Now you could just gently rock yourself to sleep.